Hey gang, welcome to another edition of Doc Schlock, where it's a review of the movie Horrors of Spider Island. I wonder what the horrors are. This one's about a nightclub manager named Gary who talks a bunch of women into going into another nightclub in Singapore. Some make the cut, some don't. It's sort of like a reality show competition, except far worse and better acting. Well, on their flight from New York to Singapore, what else would happen in a movie like this? The plane crashes. And surprisingly, everybody lives. So after a few days of floating on a raft, they're all suffering from starvation and dehydration, and, well, one of them spots an island, and, well, they go for it and get on the island, and well, they try to make the most of everything. Try to make the most of their situation. And, of course, when they get there, they discover there's a house on the island, but there's a dead body attached to a giant spider web. They don't know who it is, but they decide, what the heck, free house, why not? Not at first, but, you know. Later that night, Gary goes out into the jungle to see what's going on, and he's bitten by a giant spider, which results in him becoming a spider hybrid. Well, since they discover they have about a month's supply of food and everything else that they would need, time passes on and they're running out of food. Luckily for them, two guys who were on a passing ship discover the island too. They go on the island, find all the women, and think that they are in heaven. But their heaven turns into the other place. When it's discovered that Gary, the spider thing, is stalking them, and, well, one of the guys who arrived on the island goes off with one of the women. They both get killed, and so the remaining women and the one guy left decide, you know what, screw all this, we're going to find Gary and kill him. But unfortunately, in the spider creature hybrid hunt, Gary winds up in quicksand, sinks to the bottom, and the rest is pretty much history. So why did this movie suck? It's one of those 50s B movies that is just plain ridiculous. Giant spiderweb. The giant spiderweb, if I remember it right, it looked like a bunch of rope put together to form a spiderweb. Gary the spider person. The effects look kind of ridiculous at that too, and it's just a silly movie, but it's bad also. Kind of ridiculous, but it's cheesy. Might be considered one of those classic guilty pleasure kind of movies, and But it's ridiculous. It's just overly ridiculous. Again, the acting's not all that great, but I don't think this movie was going for an Academy Award, so yeah. But what it does in pure goofiness and idioticness and idiocy, it does kind of make up for in not much else, honestly. Blood curdling? Not really. Hair raising? I don't think so. Spine chilling? Seriously doubt it. But it is the Horrors of Spider Island. Could have been worse. Could have been the Horrors of Gilligan's Island. That movie could have been better. Until they started making TV movie sequels in which they made no sense, like the Harlem Globetrotters on Gilligan's Island, which that one really made no sense. But there you guys have it, a review of Horrors of Spider Island. If you like my videos, feel free to subscribe. If you have a horror, sci-fi horror, comedy horror, or fantasy horror movie that involved big bugs, human insect hybrid thing, and who knows what else. But it was still pretty bad. Send it my way, and I will get on it ASAP. Thank you guys so very, very much for watching. And until next time, as always, stay strong and rock on. I've heard scarier stuff coming out of my throat when I'm hacking up. Well, you don't want to know.